Action-packed finish.
It was a very exciting finish, all right. I thought we played really well, but we conceded some terrible goals, and that was the difference. The last 2 goals, just 2 mistakes. First one would come off a mistake, and the second we rushed the kick out, and Kerry had us in the break again. So I think that we were 3 points up, and to lose it within a minute, very disappointing.
But Kerry had a hold of midfield, but then Conor Doherty won a couple of kickouts. Brenton Rodgers won one, and it looked as if it was going to be enough to get you out. Shane's goal at 62 minutes was a real moment, but after that then Kerry took over again.
Yeah, midfield's massive in the new game, isn't it? You know, and Kerry were strong in that last second. They did come strong towards the end there, and they got on top of us. But I even thought with that we still won balls against the head when it needed to be. You know, maybe sometimes we rushed the shot at the top. We could be a bit more patient. We dropped one wide when we had a chance. A couple of chances we actually probably had goal chances ourselves. We took points when they were on. But I'm really disappointed because I thought we had big improvements from last week's performance against Tyrone. I think we're much better today. But you can't give away 5 goals in a game and expect to win. It's just impossible. So I think that's the biggest learning point first.
The last 10 minutes seemed like as if it lasted for a week. Is it very difficult to get game management into those last 10 minutes because you can't use a short kick out or you can't go back to keeper, so it's difficult and you sort of relying on possession at that point?
Well, it is helter-skelter, and it seems to be the nature of the game now. Is the kickouts are going out to the middle, and it's really who can get their hands on the ball, who make the best choice. And there was a couple of small things in the game. I thought there was a time when we should have had a free at the top end and the referee made the wrong decision and gave a free for Kerry. It was actually the infringement wasn't us, it was the other team, and that was a big turning point in the game. I think we had a chance to maybe get another score, and it seemed to be that point. It's a really strange one. You know, I don't really understand what happened that time, but it looked as if there were only 2 Kerry players in the half of the field. But we end up getting a free against us now. Well, it's miscommunication, I'm not entirely sure. But the nature of the game itself is very frantic. Like you see them today, even the scoreline last night in the game as well, it's going to be very high scoring games.
And finally for me, because it was so frantic, because you played so well, but how do you get it lifted for the next game? Because you offered so much, yet have nothing to show for it.
Well, you have no choice. You know, in 2 weeks' time, Galway are coming here in a league match, we need to get a win. Today I thought we were looking as if we were going to get a win there towards the end, but we didn't. So now the focus is on what we take from today, what to learn from it, and get ready for the next match.
Paddy, can I just ask you about starting Neil McNicholl in goals? He's a fellow who plays outfield a bit for his club as well. Like, he gave you a lot there around the middle third.
Yeah, I thought Neil did very well today. It's probably the role of the goalkeeper now is evolving. We've had Neil from the start of the season. That was his first match, but he acquitted himself very well today.
And what's you need to have that option there? Is that it?
I think you do. Now I think when you bring that, when you're able to get an extra player out around the middle, and especially into the attack, it does give you an options for just having a spare man to run. Neil was providing that for us today, you know, and you can see most of the games now, that's the way it's going to go.
You had mentioned the middle third and the importance around the kick out. When Kerry did get on top, they were able to put it up to you, but you dominated a lot. Like Anton Tohill had a massive game as well alongside Conor.
Yeah, I think Anton did really well. We just seemed to fade a bit, you know, but sort of halfway through the second half we seemed to lose our way. I'm not entirely sure. I think Kerry just became dominant. Sean O'Brien caught a few good balls on that far side, and he was able to sort of give them a bit of a platform. Generally, it's hard to know. Like, you know, I think the first half we were very good in the midfield, but there was a nice wee breeze there too. You know, and maybe that played into Kerry's hands in the second half.
Did the boys fade a bit? Jim McGuinness and Dessie Farrell were both calling last night for the introduction of an extra sub. Is that something you're seeing around the middle third? Is that needed? Yeah,
we've no harm in it. I think we used our 5 subs there today, like, but you could have probably done an action. But I don't know. I don't think of blaming that for the game, really. No.
Just in terms of the next day out, Paddy, is there any time likely to get back in time for the Galway game? Declan will be the Ballinderry players, or is the plan maybe to give them an extra week or 2?
Well, Gareth has a bad injury. Gareth won't be playing this season. He's done his cruciate, and so he's out. And Niall O'Donnell has gone through a surgery there for a hamstring injury, so Niall's going to be out for a considerable bit of time as well.
Paddy, you're moving your own role from the game. Is it good for the sport what we saw today?
I think it's exciting. It definitely was an exciting game, but it does. I think the game lacks a wee bit of the physical contest it used to be. Now, maybe today's were much better. Maybe it's going to take a little bit of time to get back to get used to that. There was definitely more contact tackles on today. There's a bit more edge in it, but there's still a little of space out there, like, you know. And maybe that's the way the game's going to go. We have to run with it. I just think sometimes the game lacks that little bit of bite that we're used to, in terms of just tackling and working. The three players having to stay up the pitch is very difficult. You know, it's not natural when you're playing like an invasion game that you can only come so far and you have to stop. Like, so that's a hard one like to get used to. But we just have to run with it.
It's almost like summing up two games, but if I was talking to you about the game, bar the last 90 seconds of it, what would be your summary of that?
I'd been very happy if it had stopped. If the game had stopped 90 seconds earlier. I think it really was. It was a Celtic game where we just went crazy, and we looked as if it's at a stage where we were going to lose it, then we were going back and we were going to win it, and then we just made 2 errors then that cost us badly, and that's just the summary of the match for me. But I think generally I'll be quite happy. I think our performance was way better than it was last week. We definitely improved in our performance against Tyrone. We looked like we were sort of getting used to it, and I think the more games we get, we'll get better.
I mean, you had the likes of Anton, Donncha, people like that are stepping up there, and as I say, maybe you did turn the final, but there were plenty of positives that you could see out there.
Well, you have to, you know, and we needed to increase the depth of the squad, and we're still a few players to come back in there. You know, you have Conor McCluskey and Paddy McGuigan to come in, Niall Lachlan to come in. You know, now Lachlan Murray only come on the second half. He's holding a bit of an injury. Kieran McFall didn't play today. Like I know, and Kerry were down men as well. So it's the nature of the time of year. You know, you have to find a few players, and this is what the National League's about for us too.
How close to the three you mentioned? They saw Paddy doing a bit of kicking in the warm up, so he mustn't be wild far away.
All been well. Then boys are back now in March.